We are live. It is me, Dustin Blanton. That's Travis Masterson. It's Losing Sucks out here on a Tuesday. You know, we out here. And it's episode 94. If you can rattle off a 94 right now, Travis, I don't know that I'll give you anything, but I'll be very impressed.
DeMarcus Ware?
Is he? Maybe.
Antonio Smith, defensive line, Houston
Can we
Texans?
get our people on that? Can we find out
Yeah.
if that's actually accurate? Oh, we're losing sucks. Make sure you're following us. And you know what? If you're watching this live, you're watching us probably on Twitter or on YouTube. We are found on Twitter at Losing Sucks. Check us out over at losingsucksfantasy.com and all that other good stuff. Man, it feels good to be back after week 13. Travis, we have a big week, a big week of fantasy ahead of us. Heading into week 14, this is where the money is made, my friend. Some leagues are already starting playoffs. Some leagues playoff brackets are still being determined with 1 week left to go. And if you are in a league where playoffs don't start to week 15 because for whatever reason they've included week 18 as the championship, get out of that league. Start a new league. Bring everybody that wants to play fantasy football with you to your league, where you'll have appropriately scheduled playoffs. Anyway, Travis, we're going to break down week 13. We're going to talk about the highs, the lows, the guys that disappointed you, and the guys who brought you gifts you never thought you'd see. So,
We're going to talk about what happened,
we're going to talk about,
in short.
yeah, we're going to talk about, what happened.
What the hell is even that?
Oh, he was number 94, huh? Wow, I am impressed.
DeMarcus Ware just made an
DeMarcus
appearance on
Ware.
our screen.
All right, I
He
like
heard
that.
us, and it was like, here's my picture. Put it up there.
I like that. You know what? That's a good. Starting out with DeMarcus Ware, all-time Cowboys great. Can't go wrong. Travis, without any further ado, let's get into the rundown, man. Let's talk about week 13.
We're going to dive in to the rundown. I'll be exhausted because it's like a triathlon.
Week 13 was kicked off for us. At least at the top of our show sheet, we're going to talk about Denver and Baltimore. Boy, oh boy, was this an ugly matchup. If you watched this game like I did, it was hard to look at.
That's because Denver sucks.
Denver sucks. Hey, you know what? You put some respect on Russell Wilson. He's the quarterback 22 this
He
year.
sucks.
Okay?
He could not do much for us.
Just for context, there are 4 weeks this season, Travis, where Russell Wilson is inside the top 20 quarterbacks.
Oh,
Just-
top 20. Nice.
Yeah, top 20.
That's like being a
the
top
rest of
15
them-
tight end.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely a top half of the league tight end for sure. Russell Wilson. Honestly, before we get on, have you seen this? There's this TikTok account that goes on and talks about Russell Wilson and his touchdown totals in comparison to the number of bathrooms he has in his house.
I have
Have you
not
seen this?
It. No.
Russell Wilson has 12 bathrooms in his house, and this guy keeps making videos saying Russell Wilson's touchdown count. Spoiler alert, Russell Wilson still has only thrown 8 touchdowns.
Oh, he's not getting there.
He's not going to get to 12.
No way.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe one per game. Rest of the way.
Maybe. That's a stretch. But anyway, this game, Broncos lost, okay? And arguably the Ravens lost a little bit more when they lost Lamar Jackson in this game. We can talk about the weapons and how they're going to be affected, but other weapons in this game, Travis. Sutton put up a nothing burger. He was injured. Dulcich went for a decent game. Dulcich. Oh, sorry. It's like a foreign treat.
Yes.
I imagine it's something chocolatey with nuts.
Okay.
So
Dulcich was solid, man.
He was 6 for 85. Latavius is still the number one back there for whatever godforsaken reason. And he has 21 touches for, checks math, 61 yards. That's not great. Travis.
Efficiency at its finest.
That's right. Volume over efficiency. Who cares? Everything's a nail. And then, of course, every single person on the Ravens disappointed. Huntley looks like he's gonna step into this role again, and he just diet Lamar. He's not gonna be as electric as Lamar, but I think he's good enough to as he's the starter and preparing like the starter, I think he's gonna be able to matriculate that offense down the field.
Does Mark Andrews get better?
I was saying, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Andrews.
8-game,
real quick.
9-game, 10-game sample size, something like that. Mark Andrews significantly better with Huntley.
And now there are no other passing options in this offense. I think Andrews is going to be peppered with targets, and
going up.
He goes from the tight end 2, Travis, to the tight end 2 for me.
Damn, that's bold.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a bold take.
It's a much better tight end too.
For sure. Yeah, he's like a lowercase 2 to uppercase 2. For sure.
All right, outside of Mark Andrews and Tyler Huntley, nothing there for Baltimore.
No, I'm not.
All right, then we'll move on.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Atlanta. George Pickens with a nice single catch on the day.
Woo!
He was
Throw
frustrated.
him the ball.
He was frustrated, and he should be. Deontay Johnson does not score his first touchdown of the year. I thought it was a lock. However, Najee Harris, 18 touches for 92 yards, stays healthy. You got to keep starting Najee. And Drake from London, along with Pat Freiermuth, looked really good. Steelers win. Moving on from this game, there's not a whole lot of exciting things there outside of Drake and
Although
Freiermuth.
George Pickens is upset. He wants more targets. Every
He's
time
a
he
receiver.
runs,
They all do.
every time he's a rookie, every time he goes to the sideline, it's all. And
He
he's
was
just like,
frustrated, man.
throw me the ball. Throw me the ball.
And he hasn't earned this, squeaky
he's a
the squeaky
rookie.
wheel gets the grease. I don't see them
Right.
saying, "Okay, we'll give you more targets now."
Right.
No, it's going to it's going to be a, "Hey, come to my office.
Right.
Sit down."
Sit down. Congratulations. Yeah. Green Bay played Chicago. And
Dustin played Travis.
I played Travis. That's right.
The fandoms.
This game was fun to watch for me
It
for
was.
like 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then, look, if you watch the game, you know what happened. The Packers did what the Packers do against the Bears. It doesn't matter what the score is heading into the fourth quarter. The Packers are just going to win. I will say, though, I'm excited for this to hopefully be the last time Aaron Rodgers plays the Bears.
Didn't the Bears beat the Packers earlier in the year?
No.
Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they absolutely did not.
Have they
I
played
think you
twice?
knew that.
No, I really didn't. I thought they beat them.
No.
Oh,
No,
man, I'm sorry. I really didn't know that.
Okay. I see how it's going to go. Anyway, Green Bay wins.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
unpleasant.
27-10. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Christian Watson, though, that's a fun guy to have on your team, Travis. I remember how mad I was when you picked him up in our home league a half a second before
For free.
I could. I was very upset. He's the number 2 wide receiver through the last 4 weeks, second to only Devontae Adams.
Say it louder.
He's number 2
In
to
the
Devontae
NFL
Adams.
over the last month.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Ironically, he's number 1 in the XFL. So
I keep seeing all these
Funny
commercials, and I'm in the kitchen. I look over, and I'm like, am I missing a play? And it's like, oh, it's an XFL commercial because I don't recognize these jerseys.
I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited for the XFL.
Christian Watson is electric.
He's
and
just
now
touchdowns,
we're saying
man.
it every week.
Touchdowns and they give it to him all over the place. It's exciting. I don't know how much I trust it. I mean, I don't like touchdown dependent players, but they're giving him the ball, so you got to ride the lightning at this point.
The thing with that is, yes, he's been getting most of his production from touchdowns,
Right.
but he was so involved. Like he kept chunking it down the field to him. It's not like he got 2 MVS targets and hit on one of them. They're taking shots. That every week they're like, let's get him the ball. Let's get him the ball. So
yeah, he's had 6 targets in the last 3 games and then 8 before that. So he's balling
there.
out. He's
Yeah.
had 4 straight top 10 weeks. So it's hard to ignore it. Aaron Jones banged up. A fun story here. AJ Dillon is getting better in the cold. So the more the weather
we've kind of
changes,
hinted at it.
we said that earlier in the season, and AJ Dillon, he's like a mini Derrick Henry, man. It gets cold, and then these dudes do not want to tackle these thick boys. On the other side of the ball, though, the Bears. Really, let's just talk about two Bears because that's really all we have.
The bear.
The bear and other bear. Justin Fields still very, very, very fast, and that's I'll be honest. There are leagues where I started Trevor Lawrence over Justin Fields.
Oh
Trevor
no,
Lawrence
we talked about it Thursday. I know
sure.
that's true because I asked you. I said, "Hold on, pause the show." Did
Yep.
you just say
Yep.
that you? I think I need to cut that clip because I said we're gonna come back here Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say, "Remember?" And you're gonna say, "I'm the guy that
Oh, yeah.
started."
You know,
You
Trevor
don't bench
Lawrence,
this guy.
Trevor Lawrence did not have a bad game, but Justin Fields, you can't. I almost want to call him matchup proof because he can
is.
do this to anyone.
Yeah.
There's not a there's. You have to account for him all over the field. Look, he's 6'3", 6'4", and can run a 4.4, and long strides, just run away from everybody. And then, of course, he opens up running lanes for guys like David Montgomery, who has been reliable and is going to turn into a very solid piece on whatever playoff team hopefully has him. This team is just fun, and it's frustrating if you're just counting wins and losses. But if you're watching the development of this guy, he is exciting. He is the future of this league, and man, you want a guy like that on your team. I'm excited as a Bears fan for sure.
As somebody who's not a Bears fan, I feel like if I was, I
Yeah.
would feel like we are winning.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're not winning that game, but it feels like
Right.
we're winning the war. I guess you can say we're losing the
sure.
battles, but we're winning the war. It just feels like that
Yeah.
arrow's going up.
I'm looking forward to the future for sure.
Detroit and Jacksonville. I'm calling this the Dustin Bowl.
All right, I like
Closet fans
that.
unite.
Both my closet teams. I love it.
DeAndre
Time.
Swift has returned to stardom just in time. He gives you a RB5 week.
Only took 13 games.
It's about time. Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to feast. We harped on this guy over and over again. I remember telling the Drunk on Broad podcast, buy him, buy him, buy him. As soon as he scores a touchdown with the volume he's been getting, it's going to be too late. Most deadlines have passed. Even in a dynasty, you're still not able to get him any longer.
Yeah.
11 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is league-winning material.
It is. It
Jared
for
Goff.
sure is.
340 and 2. Shout out Frank Amarante, who said Jared Goff 250-yard over-under bet is an absolute steal, and he smashed it himself. Goff says, here's 340 and 2. DJ Chark, waiver wire pickup, 5 for 98. Sneaky starter for some very thin teams out here right now, especially the three wide receiver leagues. He is likely on your waiver wire, depending on how deep your league is. But for most redraft leagues, he's out there. I would grab him. You can plug and play him in a flex or a wide receiver 3 and get that kind of production. On the other side, Jacksonville offense went full ghost mode on us, Dustin. Evan Ingram scored.
Good stuff.
Yes, Christian Kirk had a good day, going over 100 yards. I felt like every time Lawrence threw the ball, it was Christian Kirk, Christian Kirk, Christian Kirk.
He's the go-to.
But Travis Etienne, where did you go?
He's
healthy.
He was healthy. He was healthy.
We need more. We need more. It was Detroit. It's supposed to be a huge one.
It was supposed to be a big game, but I mean,
It happens.
it's not like he was getting nothing. He had some plays. It just nothing broke.
Yeah.
Which is okay. It happens, but can't happen again.
You're
Not
right.
again. The Jets and the Vikings, Travis. My goodness.
You called this guy.
Garrett Wilson goes for 8 for 162. This was a prime matchup. Mike White loves to chuck the ball, and Garrett Wilson does it again. Look, he is the wide receiver 1 on this team. Remember Elijah Moore? Remember when he
Unreal.
played football? What a fall from grace, man.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He was going for 23 first.
23 first, and
Mere
now he
12 weeks ago.
goes 2 for 7 in this game.
What
He's going to be
What
a
are you doing with him?
storyline. He's going to be a storyline in the offseason. Are they going to trade him? Is he going to be part of this team? I honestly don't know the answer to that, but I think he's a hold. He's a hold in Dynasty for me. I think he's too talented. It's not like he stopped being talented, but my goodness, what has happened? Like something's
You're getting
not
nothing
clicking.
for him. That's why. I mean, that's
Yeah,
hold is the
what
right
do you-
answer.
I'm getting offers for thirds for him. It's no, you hold him. You hold him, and you
Wait for
you
the
hold
trade.
out. Yeah, you wait for him to any news will be a bump in value.
Yes.
Mike White continues to be a strong play in Superflex, but Zonovan Bam Knight on this team, he has earned a role. He is the number one
Huge.
back the rest of the season. You know, Michael Carter's probably going to be relegated to that role. He has absolutely murdered the value of James Robinson if it was ever in existence. But 15 for 90,
I saw Robert Saleh talk about this last
Yeah.
week. He said Zonovan Knight fits our scheme perfectly. He's a great one-cut runner.
yeah.
Which, if they knew that they had that guy, why trade for J-Rob?
Depth, I guess, you know, like it's probably just a philosophy that you can't have too many good running back. And granted, they had just lost Brees Hall, so they're probably thinking we need bodies in here, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
need
it's easier to
someone.
say after Knight does it for a couple weeks, but man, it's
sure.
like you've had him all year. You see him
Yeah.
in practice.
Yeah,
You know
practice
he's
different than
you
a
know
game.
he's got it, and
not
then
a
still you
game.
want to trade for. What did they give up for Robinson? Any idea?
A sixth.
Okay,
I think it was a 6th-round pick.
we've seen some 6th-round picks be pretty good in the NFL.
For sure. For sure. But yeah, and then JJ quiet up until the fourth quarter when he caught that touchdown. And then Thielen didn't really do much. But the Vikings, they're 10-2. Are they? I keep seeing everybody saying that people are sleeping on the Vikings, but they don't feel like a very good 10-2 team. Like they just feel like
10-2
like
feels high.
they're not winning convincingly. They're just doing what they have to win the game, which ultimately, like there's gonna be a matchup, I guarantee you, in the playoffs where it's like I don't know who it's gonna be. Let's say it's the 49ers, you know.
I was about to say
And
they're
Min-
smashing them.
Minnesota's gonna face the 49ers, and Minnesota's gonna win. And
No.
Yeah.
Why do you
I
keep
think-
picking everybody but San Francisco?
Because Minnesota it's going to be one of those things where everybody overlooks them. No one gives them credit for their record, and then we're going to be like, oh well, we just expect the 49ers to get through this team, and then weird stuff will happen, and the Vikings are going to knock one of our favorite teams out. I don't know who it's going to be. Pick one. Cowboys. You know, the Cowboys are going to face the Vikings in the first round, and the Vikings are going to win.
Oh my
And
gosh, I disagree again.
I'm just saying, this happens all the freaking time. Where
It
it's
also
just
happens that you shut down Dalvin Cook, you get to Kirk,
Sure.
and you beat them by 20.
You could absolutely, but I'm saying that this team, who did they beat the last? They beat the Saints in the playoffs when everyone was sure that the Saints had enough to go into the playoffs.
They
and win a few.
did.
Yes.
That one play?
Look, I'm telling you, this stuff happens. Call me crazy. Let's talk about some other fringe teams in the NFC, Travis. Let's talk about Washington and New York.
The Washington Commanders, led by Heineke instead of former Super Bowl champion Carson
Yeah.
Wentz.
He is a Super Bowl champion. Didn't play in the game, but he has a ring.
Just introducing him like that feels so wrong. I did that because Ben is here. Hello, Ben. It's okay that you're late. Saquon Barkley and Brian Robinson both looked really good. Our friend Eric Finkston told us 2
Yeah.
weeks ago, go trade for B-Rob, go trade for B-Rob.
Yeah.
And I tried, and everybody else already knew he was going to have a really good finish. So I was a
Either.
little late, but they both look great. Barkley's still Barkley. Terry McLaurin, over 100 and a score. Darius Slayton, somebody that we talked about on Thursday, to check the waiver wire late, 90 yards. He is their one. He will continue
Yeah.
to be their one the rest of the season.
Yes, he is.
Heineke and Danny Dimes both getting it done in different ways. Danny Dimes going over 70 on the ground. You'd love to see that. Very valuable Superflex quarterbacks, just like we thought in September. Taylor Heineke and Danny Dimes.
So, question about Danny Dimes. And we're early here, but they're close to the playoffs. Whether they get in, it's a question still. But Danny Dimes, is he going to be the quarterback of, one, the Giants, or two, an NFL team next year?
Yes, he'll be the Giants quarterback next year.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
I mean, he's going to win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, I think they'll get to 9.
That's really tough. I mean, there's quarterbacks who have done far less and found a way to win 9 or 10 games that have stuck around.
That's fair.
Well, Heineke,
That's
probably not.
Yeah,
Think they move on to Howell?
At some point, I don't. The thing is, if they're in contention, I don't think there's any way you can go to Howell. But
No, I mean next year.
no, I don't think they do that.
What do they do?
That's a great question. Glad I'm not having to be in the front
Why
office.
draft
'cause
Howell if you're never going to start him? Is it like
They
from
drafted
somebody
him in the
who's not
third
an
round.
NFL GM?
That's like saying, like, why?
There's so many
why-
good players. There's guys.
Sure, but like that's
people
like saying,
build
why
their
did the
defenses
Vikings
with
draft
with
Kellen
third
Mond
rounds.
and never start him? Like,
Don't
you
do
know,
it.
Well, sure, but like you develop them, and maybe I don't know. Maybe Sam Howell is good enough to be like a pseudo starter, like a spot.
Trade
I
for
don't know.
Andy Dalton or Gardner Minshew. Don't waste
God,
a draft pick
Jesus.
on these guys.
Baker Mayfield, he'll look great in a
I
Washington
mean, they're just
uniform.
backups. If you're never going
sure,
to
but
play
he's a
Howell, you
rookie.
could get a 3rd round pick that
It's not
starts
like
on
he's
your
never going to
defense.
play. Do you realize what we're talking about?
He'll
right now? We're
never
talking
start
about-
an NFL game.
I don't know about that. That's
He
Goodness
might.
gracious.
He might. But I'm asking you, him versus Heineke and Wentz, and you still are. You don't know who
Look at-
starts.
who
Then what are we
out of
doing?
that- I don't know what they're doing. Like it's not. Like, can you
That's
confidently
my
go into
point.
next
We
season?
don't know what they're doing.
I don't,
so
no,
why draft
because
him?
they don't know what they're doing. How can I know what they're doing when they don't know what they're doing? Like, hey, if someone were to give him truth serum, I think what are you doing at quarterback next season? He'd be like, no freaking clue. I have no clue. I would tell you if I knew the answer, but I have no idea.
Well, it's not going to be
gosh.
Wentz. It's not going to be
It's not gonna
Howell.
be Heineke.
It might be Heineke.
It's gonna be. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I've got nothing on them. It could be Heineke for all I know. I have no idea.
Next game, Tennessee and Philadelphia.
One thing's for certain: Jalen Hurts will be the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles next year. Ryan Tannehill will probably still be the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. And this current iteration of this game was not pretty. The Philadelphia Eagles, one, can take up as much clock as they want because they don't get stopped on offense. And two, the Yeti himself, Derrick Henry, was rendered useless in this game because they had to play from behind the entire game. A.J. Brown, I think he remembers Tennessee and his time there because this was the revenge game of all revenge games for him. 119 and 2 huge touchdowns, Travis. They're not small
I
touchdowns.
agree.
They were like, I'm a man. I'm going to sun you on these catches.
Did you see
One
how
of
he
them-
stood there after he ran through the dude?
He played so well, the owner fired the general manager for
That's
trading
a
him.
great point. AJ
He's like,
Brown
you know
got
what?
him
You've been a
fired.
great general manager, but what I just watched, you're fired.
You
And
sent
he's like,
him
okay,
packing.
yeah, no, you're right. No, that's a bad game. We'll get him next. No, you're fired. You're fired. Mm-hmm. And then he's out. I've never seen a player play so well to get someone immediately fired on the other team.
You sent him away. We're sending you away.
Yeah,
You're out.
he's gonna have a job in Philadelphia. I guarantee it.
Dustin, it was finally a week for Philadelphia where we did not have the roulette that we've.
Yeah,
Had all
Devonta
year.
Smith had a game.
Sanders scored.
Sanders scored.
Everyone
Hurts,
ate.
392 yards. Yeah, goodness. He's probably the fantasy MVP.
I would
but
think so.
Wow. 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the front runner for NFL MVP.
Who are the
God,
other?
he just-
We'll have a show about an award show, but
Sure.
Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts.
If you have Josh Jacobs, your team is doing very well probably for where you drafted him. If there were others, I mean, yeah, it's goodness.
There's
yeah,
not
I mean,
necessarily guys that are like
no 'cause
number
Josh
one
Allen's
at their position.
Josh Allen's come down. You know, I mean,
He's
Patrick
QB3
Mahomes
now.
is having a decent season. You know, I don't know. Like if you held out on Justin Fields, you're probably not hating life too much.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
it's been maybe 7 or 8 games, whereas
Yeah.
these other guys are like
Tua is up there. Yeah, Jalen Hurts though. Jalen Hurts is the guy. There's no one else that's
I agree.
doing what he's doing right now. Cleveland has a quarterback now, Travis. Let's talk about him.
Dustin. Deshaun Watson returns. We've waited
Yeah.
for this for so long. He's going to step in and be such a boost for a wide receiver,
Absolutely.
8 overall Amari Cooper,
Yep.
and just murder his former franchise, the Houston Texans, in
Oh,
the
yeah,
easiest
killed
game
him.
of the year.
He killed him.
Quarterback 3-0 on the week. For those of you that
that's
like
quarterback
math,
30 then.
30 out of 32.
Oh wow. Well, there weren't
He
even
wasn't
30.
the worst.
There weren't even 32 quarterbacks playing.
Oh wow. Oh, that's actually because Jimmy Garoppolo and Purdy both beat Deshaun Watson.
So
Unbelievable.
oh god.
He kills Amari Cooper in the process of his return.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Quickly, do we think that Amari Cooper will be a top 15 receiver rest of season? I don't. It's going to be a lot of rust. We're talking 2+
we've got-
years of rust.
Everyone ask me next season, absolutely. Amari
Right.
Cooper top 15 wide receiver. The rest of the season, I'm
just
not
died.
sure I'm not sure he's a wide receiver 2 the rest
He
of the
just
season.
died. Yeah, he just died. You should have traded him away.
If you
Imagine trading him away.
it's tough, but you made the call. I said this. Oh God, dude, Deshaun Watson, yes, very talented, but it's going to take. We said it. Do not count on him for the fantasy playoffs. Do not imagine he's just going to step into his role and be great. Cleveland was struggling before he got there. They had some big plays and some sustainable play for wide receiver. But Deshaun Watson, like you said, has not played quarterback in 2 years, 700 days. You don't just step
long
onto a
time.
field. Oh, but he's been practicing. He hasn't played. And 4 games is not going to be enough for him to shake that off. That's a preseason.
It's going to be ugly.
I expect him. He's going to have a game, Travis. I guarantee he's going to have maybe 2 games where he's in, quarterback 18 to 15 territory, and it looks okay. He looks mediocre. That's good for overall progress for him. But he's not going to be your top 5 quarterback that you expect next season. He's not going to be that yet.
Would it shock you if DPJ had more fantasy points over the next 3 weeks than Amari Cooper?
No, not at all. DPJ
wouldn't-
has actually been very consistent.
He has been, and he plays a lot like Will Fuller, who Deshaun Watson loved. I think David Njoku and Donovan Peoples-Jones will outproduce their rankings each week much more than Amari Cooper will. Speaking of sells, Dameon Pierce, as far as dynasty goes, he can only do so much with how bad Houston is. He bounces off of people. He runs like his life depends on it.
He's a buy for me in Dynasty.
Things change so quick, and this is what I learned with Antonio Gibson. I bought Antonio Gibson coming off of a top 10, back-to-back top 10 seasons,
Right.
and they drafted a running back.
Yep.
All it takes is one SEC running back to be drafted by Houston,
For sure.
and you just overpaid for Dameon Pierce. He's
It's
undersized. Houston sucks. The second they bring in somebody else, it's too late. Be very careful with Dameon Pierce.
He is tough. I like the volatility on guys like that because the opportunity to hit on a guy like that and you're probably not having to pay for what his ceiling is. I like that. He's one of the few cases where I don't think they're going to invest a lot in the running back position in this coming draft. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
What are you willing to pay, really quickly, as you think about
Sure.
what you would actually pay?
I would pay a
Justin
back
Henry
end-
show has joined us.
Oh, are you kidding me? Justin
He
Henry's
is
in here?
in the comments, the man himself.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a good guy.
Jay Hinn, what up, man?
Yeah. Oh, man. He had to bring up Pickens and Boyd. All right.
Remember, that was the debate of who has more upside preseason.
Yeah.
And I
Turns
said
out the
Boyd.
winner was no one.
I do think Boyd actually has more points because of
Probably.
the injury. But that was kind of the play initially. But, yeah, right
Yeah.
now, you can't get either one in the lineup, which is not what
Yeah.
we had hoped.
Goodness.
But okay, so really quick, Chubb 17
Yeah.
for 80. He was the unanimous RB1 on the week as far as rankings go. So this game sucked in general. But back to
did.
Pierce Dynasty real quick.
Yep.
What would you
if can
actually
get,
pay?
if you can get him for a late first, I
What
would do
year?
it. 23. If you can get him for a late
Oh
23
my
first.
goodness! I should have sold him to you.
I would do it. I would do it.
Explain the reasoning. We have time.
I think the team's going to get better. I don't see them going from where they're at now into next year and then immediately buying, a high-end running back. I think he's proven that he can handle the load for them. So, I think they're going to roll with him. And even if they bring in someone else, I don't think they're going to spend high enough draft capital for him to be, at that much of a danger. Now, I want to give a caveat because I think now
It
that I'm thinking
happens
of
every year.
I'm thinking of it now. I think a first would be too expensive. I'm
The
gonna say
second they draft a big body SEC running back
I'm
and
gonna
say
say-
he'll have goal line, you're screwed.
I think I'm gonna say don't give a first.
Good
I would
call.
give a second though. I would give a second.
I think that's fair.
For sure. I would give a second.
Next game,
But
Dustin.
moving on to Seattle and we have to talk about the Rams. All right, spoiler alert: the Rams are bad, and for whatever reason, Cam Akers is getting enough work to be meh. So
This is
that's
what we
where we're
hoped
at.
for all year.
right,
It just took a long time and
Right.
injuries to everyone else.
yeah, for sure.
or releases by the running back
But this
group.
game, Geno Smith leads the game-winning drive, and Geno Smith, man, just continues to get it done. He's going to lead this team to winning that division, so good for him. And
This is not a team
this is
comment.
this is a Geno Smith is the truth here. And since Russell Wilson's gone, both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett had massive games. Both
Yes.
had nearly identical yardage, 128 and 127 respectively. Tyler Lockett 12 targets, DK Metcalf 8. Each had a touchdown. It's like when you have a quarterback who actually cares about the team, Travis, the guys do well. More
How
often.
do you leave that? If you're Russell Wilson, do you just is it because he felt so disrespected or
I
the
think it
locker room
was.
actually doesn't like Russell Wilson as we're seeing in Denver?
I think,
When you look at the box score of Tyler Lockett and Metcalf, 17 catches on 20 targets for 255 yards. Those are his guys that are feasting with Geno Smith.
yeah.
Like he has
Oh.
to go home and be like, shit, I got Cortland Sutton and Kendall Hinton.
Yeah.
I chose this.
That's he did it to himself. Imagine did you think he knew he was going to be that
Why?
bad? You think he came in and was like, I think I am going to be this bad, but like I'm so good, and Sierra's my wife, so
Maybe
I'm
he
gonna
thought, yeah, maybe he thought Seattle knows I'm done.
yeah.
Denver will pay me, and then it'll
Yeah.
be too late.
I don't have
maybe
to worry
that's
about it because
Yeah.
we're going to pay him $250 million, and he's going to suck. I'm excited. We'll talk about this more later.
Shocking
Anyway,
development by Ben on jumping on your side here.
yeah, welcome to the Seahawks bandwagon, Ben.
Unbelievable. Thought we were
But
friends.
Cam Akers scores twice. Ken Walker, injured though, Travis. This is a big story,
Yes.
especially for teams that have him. He's a running back one essentially, and he's probably not going to play this week, especially heading into the playoffs. That's going to be a huge impact. DJ Dallas kind of banged up. What are we doing? Because Travis Homer's banged up. DJ Dallas has an ankle. They're calling it a high ankle issue. We don't know what it is. Kenneth Walker has a foot problem. Are we looking at a Tony Jones week? Is this kind of what we're looking
I'm
at?
not starting any of them.
They signed Wayne Gallman. Okay, he's played football.
That does tell you that I think Walker's out 2 weeks.
I think he is. I think they're at least going to rest him this week and then take a look. But that's, I mean, the Seahawks have the Panthers. I don't think they're necessarily going to need him this week. Who knows? But
I think if you have room, roll the dice with DJ Dallas, see if he gets healthy.
okay,
But
it's
I'm
only
not.
Tuesday, so
Yeah, I'm not loving any of those options.
for sure. Like I said, Akers scored twice, and it's annoying. So let's talk some San Francisco and Miami, Travis. Something happened in San Fran that we're not exactly happy about.
Jimmy G goes down with a broken foot.
It's a handsome foot.
Very recent news in the last couple hours has Jimmy G
Oh.
possibly returning for the NFL playoffs. However,
Oh my!
your fantasy season being led by Jimmy G is now over. Tua finds a way, 295 yards and 2 scores. And one of them actually wasn't a screen taken to the house. He actually did throw it down the field to Tyreek. That was pretty. Gives you a massive QB 17 on the week. He is now averaging 3 points per game less than Mike White averages on the season.
I just
Way to manipulate the stats.
yeah, the amount, the lengths you'll go to avoid saying
I have
First
to
of all,
bring that.
how I don't understand how is he the quarterback 17?
So what you're saying is I made the show sheet, I put QB 17, I did the homework, and then I
Right.
say it out loud, and you go to Google and say, is Travis
Right.
lying?
I had to check.
So what did Google say?
the Google said that you're telling the truth, okay?
Why? Why was he QB 17?
I don't know, because sometimes people score more points, okay?
A lot more people sometimes. Anyway, Tyreek Hill, 9 for 146 yards and a
Yep.
score. This dude is a
crazy.
beast.
Jalen Waddle was banged up though.
Yeah, he killed you. I mean, it sucks that he got banged up, but one catch, ugh. There's a lot of must-win games that really hurt.
Yeah,
Christian
for sure.
McCaffrey, however, 25 touches, 146 yards, and a score, introduces himself. Hi, I'm Christian, and I'm awesome. He's back. We said this on Thursday, the Elijah Mitchell injury was
massive.
enormous for Christian McCaffrey owners. I have Christian McCaffrey in, I think, 10 or 12 of 30 leagues, so
Oh wow.
I'm very happy
Lucky
right now.
man. Lucky man. You know, how I
Very
just want
happy.
to let everybody know in San Francisco, you can collectively let your breath go because they are no longer in the Baker Mayfield sweepstakes.
True.
Okay, I know Christian McCaffrey was lighting candles, praying, please don't bring him here, please. He's a Ram. He is a Ram. And quote
Seeing
from
that
Sean
logo
McVay.
on his face is so
Quote
weird.
from Sean McVay about their game this week was, could Baker Mayfield play against the Raiders this week? And McVay says, there's a shot.
Are you serious?
I don't know how you do it, but that's
All right, I
where
changed my
we're at.
mind. I'm benching Ben Skoranek. I'm benching Van Jefferson.
Oh, man.
Tyler Higbee
What
is
a-
no
what a
longer
shame.
my tight end number 1 on the week.
Oh, man. What a shame.
Yeah.
A star was just too bright. Burned
San
right
Francisco
out.
wins by 16 over the Flying Finns with one injured Finn. We shall see what Miami does down the stretch. Ben and I happen to think a reality check over the last few games
You mean San
is
Francisco? You said
in store.
Cincinnati.
No, Miami. Did I say
Yeah,
Cincinnati?
You said Cincinnati wins by 16.
Oh, San Francisco wins by
It's okay.
16.
Let's talk about Cincinnati, though. Let's talk about the Chiefs and the Bengals, Travis, and how the Bengals seem to just have the Chiefs' number.
Such a weird thing that they keep beating them.
It happens, man. It happens. Doesn't matter. It just Joey B gets the job done. Jamar Chase comes back, and he's Jamar Chase again. He goes for 7 for 97. The fill-in, Samaje P. Ryan. Oh goodness,
He's
he
awesome.
He's so good. He's underrated. He's actually from my neck of the woods over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went to school in Pflugerville.
Wow.
And Mixon's coming back, and P. Ryan has been buoying a few of my teams in some tournaments, so it's been nice for a while. And P. Ryan, I think he's flex worthy. You know, I think he's gonna get enough work.
you can do a lot worse.
For sure could. He could, vulture some touchdowns. But Samaje Perine, man, I don't know what his contract situation is. I'd have to look it up. But if he's a free agent, this is a guy that I think could go on to, some running back needy team, be that running back 2, but then usurp the starter if he goes up somewhere like Atlanta next year, I think he starts. If he goes somewhere like
Houston.
I don't Yeah. Oh, don't say that. Oh no, you've already
You're like, yeah,
spoke-
no, they
you
have somebody.
spoke it into existence, and you know what?
He
If
is an
goes
under.
to the-
He's a free agent after this year.
If David Montgomery leaves and Samaje Perine goes to the Bears, I would be okay with it. I'd be just fine with that.
Okay, I like that to compliment Herbert.
Right. I think that would be a decent duo. Pacheco, though, he scored, saves the day, has a decent game. He's turning into a little bit of a fantasy mainstay, and especially on this high-powered offense, I would almost venture to say that it doesn't matter who they're playing. I think he's at least a flex each week, and I feel safe
Hell
saying
yeah, you're a day one Pacheco guy.
I am a day one Pacheco. I
There were a
drafted
lot of
him.
them out there, but there were a lot of them that gave up. You did not.
This
And
is true.
you continue to tell me, don't give up
Yeah.
on Pacheco. And every time I send you an offer and I'm like, I think I'm selling Pacheco high here, you're like, why are you giving up on Pacheco?
Yeah, this dude.
I'll hold. I'm going to have to hold.
Every time I read something on him, a constant line is he is the angriest runner in the NFL, and he 100% is. I love watching him play football.
Yeah,
Even just when he gets up from a hit, he's like, "Oh, go play football."
it feels
It's fun to watch.
It feels like it's just getting better and better and better. And Kansas City loves him.
Yeah,
In the same division as the Kansas City Chiefs, there was a game
Mm-hmm.
between the Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Devontae Adams, ladies and gentlemen, is your number one wide receiver in fantasy through 13 weeks. He goes 8 for 177 and 2 scores. He is winning you weeks consistently right now. This is what you wanted with Devontae Adams. Probably more than you ever thought.
yeah.
Josh Jacobs on the same offense, ladies and gentlemen, your number one running back through 13
saw this
weeks
coming?
in fantasy football. The Dynasty Jacobian probably thought this would happen.
This is true.
150 yards and a score. When you see the lines
Wow.
on player prop apps, and I do them every weekend, and I see Josh Jacobs and it's like 92 yards, I'm like, damn, that feels high. I'm not betting on that. And then he goes for
Right.
150, and then he goes for 300. It's like, is he going to finish? Is he going to finish as the number one running back? Probably.
Probably.
There's no slowdown in sight.
no. As
Derek
long as he stays
Carr.
healthy.
Derek Carr can't slow that car down because it's not going very fast. He
Yeah,
was his
it's-
average self. He loves Dustin to live in the 17 to 19 fantasy point range.
If I told you that he was only one spot out of being a quarterback one, would you believe it?
That's where he lives. That's all it takes.
It's wild.
17 to 19 points a game, and you
Yeah.
are playable, and you won't win anybody the week,
Nope.
but you won't lose them the week.
Yeah.
On the
that's-
other side of the ball, Keenan Allen, wide receiver 11 since his return over the last 3 weeks with Mike Williams sidelined. When he is in and healthy, he is a legit top 12 receiver, just like DeAndre Hopkins. Those are two guys that have been doing it for 6 or 7 years now.
Yep.
Even when Mike Williams comes back, when Keenan Allen's healthy, he's a top 12 guy.
You're not wrong.
If
I
there's
mean,
a
he's-
really tough matchup, maybe not. But I still think he's 12 to 15 feels so safe in PPR formats.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse.
Let me get your thoughts on this, Dustin.
Okay.
It is painful to watch the Chargers and the Raiders play each other.
It really sometimes is. They just get it. They understand each other. They
It
understand
feels
each
like
other.
they're both trying so hard to win,
Mm-hmm.
while simultaneously, like a hush hush, hey, we should try to lose also.
Yeah.
Like they have such a conflict of interest of like the play's right there, the guy's right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, we'd
Yeah.
rather do it on 4th and 15 than
Yeah.
on 2nd and 7. I hate watching these games, but they give you fantasy points and they're always exciting at the end. It's just like,
Right.
is there a sloppier team in the NFL than, I mean, a sloppier matchup than you could think of other than the Raiders and the Chargers?
I mean, I watched a Houston and Cleveland game that was pretty sloppy.
That's true. Yeah, those of us that streamed the Cleveland defense won the week. That was
It's
nice.
true. That's true. They did come in clutch. There was another defense though that came in clutch
Yes,
in the
there
next
was.
game that we're going to talk about. Dallas versus Indianapolis. This game was tight through 3 quarters. I'm talking 2 points. And then some people decided, okay, I'm going to go to bed. It's late. I got to get up in the morning. And the Colts are like, hey, watch this. They turn on some Benny Hill music, and it absolutely goes bonkers. 33 points for the Dallas Cowboys in the fourth quarter. Not in the game. In the fourth quarter.
Just pour it
33
on. Keep
points.
it going. This is great.
Matt
This is for you,
Ryan
Ben.
decided, y'all thought I should retire before this game. Y'all should see me after the third quarter. And then he goes and does some sort of impression where it's like, have you guys ever seen a quarterback that forgot how to play quarterback? And then he did it. He did a really good rendition of it.
He gets so angry at himself too. He's like,
He does.
"Ah!" It's like, what? What did you see that nobody else saw? Like, there's this guy standing
I
right
think-
there.
If like in my honest opinion, I think he's used to like he's played like what, how many years now? 13 years or whatever.
Yeah.
15 years, whatever it is. He has seen so many, windows, so many throws. He has been able to anticipate, and I think his arm is just not. He's not. He hasn't slowed his mind down or changed his approach to match his arm strength. So I think he sees throws, goes to make the throws he's used to, and can't make them. So then he's just really frustrated with his play and can't figure out. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is his body's going through some changes, and no one has sat down to explain these changes that his body's going through to him. No one has sat down and had the talk with Matt Ryan.
If I put the Colts and the Broncos in the Super Bowl,
Please, for the love of God, no
Who
one
wins?
deserves that.
who
No
wins
one.
on
No
that
one wins.
stage?
It's the only Super Bowl to end in a tie. Everybody loses.
Who would you actually bet on?
A Satan, I guess.
You'd pay to not watch it.
I would literally, like, if someone's like, Dustin, I will literally give you $1 billion to watch this game. I'm gonna have the same number in my bank account today.
Roger
and
Goodell's
tomorrow.
nightmare.
Oh,
This is the
God.
lowest viewership in the history of the Super Bowl.
We had 7 people, and 6 of them are people that Russell Wilson paid.
and Ben.
And
Ben's
Ben.
the seventh.
And Ben would watch because Ben's a sycophant. He likes this stuff. Anyway, Lamb gets 71 yards and a touchdown. Dallas has a nice defensive day, and Jonathan Taylor, puts up 80 on the ground. So I guess he didn't murder you, but Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott still usable in that game. That's
They're
all
balling.
I got on that one.
Those
And
dudes are
CD
balling right now.
Yeah,
It doesn't
they
matter
really
who
are.
they give it to. That offense is clicking. It's just like whoever touches the ball is producing. It just depends on who's going to get it, but it feels like everybody's getting it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll wrap it up.
All
New
right.
Orleans, Tampa Bay. We saw it last night. Tom Brady comes from behind and wins with 3 minutes to go. He was down by, or maybe 4 minutes. They were down by
The Saints suck.
13. Alvin Kamara quiet once again. We said this a month ago. It was going to be a rough stretch. That stretch is over. He does have the bye week, but he comes out of it fresh against Atlanta just in time for your playoffs. And then he gets Cleveland, who's not great against the run. 2 of those 3 playoff matchups, Alvin Kamara could be really big for you. Olave looked good minus a very key drop. Saints deserve to win this game.
No, they don't.
They
No.
deserved to win the game. Jarvis Landry reaches out with his left hand, one hand, doesn't catch the touchdown. Andy Dalton is frustrated. Andy Dalton proceeds to dime up Taysom Hill in the middle of the field between 4 defenders to win the game,
Yep.
and he can't hang
Can't
on.
catch it.
So I feel bad for Andy Dalton, but the rookies on the other side of the ball, Cade Otton and Rashad White, both score pretty quiet. Other than that, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, both of them should have had a lot more. Chris Godwin had a touchdown
Wait.
called back.
Who dropped that ball?
Taysom Hill.
You mean
His name is John C.
Taysom Hill actually scored early in the game and had a really nice fantasy day.
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That'll do it for the rundown, Dustin. We are on to the bigger and better segments.
The big picks. I'm gonna do the draft.
Keep
What
it
you
sh-
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Let's talk about some big picks because we some days you're reminded that you're pretty good at predicting things, Travis, and other days you wonder why we didn't retire this segment in the first place.
You did
We
better
went-
than I.
We went 1 for 8. Thank you, Garrett
Thank
Wilson.
you for including me on that, so I didn't have 0.
Yeah,
We went 1 for
we
8.
went 1
Nice.
for 8. Some of us went 0 for 4. I just we didn't do well, Travis.
Yeah.
We said some things.
Just one name, and he had a great day. Everybody
Yeah.
else,
Trevor Lawrence didn't do so good. There's a foot issue. There's a thing. Travis, there's a thing. You know what? There's a thing.
Garrett Wilson, the only name worth mentioning.
That's right.
Dustin's wide receiver big pick of the week, gives you
Yep.
a great week. We apologize for the other 7.
Yeah.
We were due for a really bad week. We've actually been really hot with those.
We have been. Garrett Wilson was the wide receiver 9 this week in half PPR. So
It's a good call. That was a little dance for those of you audio listeners.
let's do a quick would you rather, Travis.
I love these.
I want to turn the tables on you, and I want you to really think about this one because this one is just a dirty question.
Oh, my style. Let's hear it.
Would you rather never win another fantasy football ring again, or be forced to have your team start Russell Wilson for his entire contract?
I would definitely choose Russell Wilson.
Oh God!
I would lose every
no.
week. Surely my other players can make up enough to make up for Russell Wilson every now and then.
Like, you can have success for your fantasy team. You just will never get a ring.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay because I'll have matchups with friends and family members, and Russell Wilson will give me 9 points, and that'll be just enough to win by 1. So, yes, easy call for me. Losing sucks, Dustin. I would never choose to lose.
That's fair.
I'd
That's
rather not play if I was guaranteed to lose. Too competitive. It would ruin my mood.
I like that. I like that for you, Travis. I like
It would
that.
ruin my mood. My dad, actually, he's in our home league with Dustin and I, and he's a former champion. He takes it very, very seriously, researches all week, and
Man.
he texted me on Sunday about 4 o'clock, and he said, I'm done with it. I'm so frustrated. It's affecting me outside of football
Oh, no.
and how I'm talking to people and the way I'm acting, and I'm like,
No.
okay, we'll talk tomorrow. You need to step
Poor
away from the
Chaz.
game. Yeah, and it was because I beat him, and I needed to win also to seal my spot.
Yes,
so
you did.
it
I appreciate that.
he was better today. He was better.
That's
so
good. That's good. I'm
it
now
just
2
goes to
points
show
ahead of him.
losing sucks, Dustin.
Losing sucks. And for those of you listening, you know that we are losing sucks. You've made it through the entire show. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been fun. Travis, for those of you who don't know, coming up on Thursday is Fantasy Football Trivia Night. We really should have started off the show with the lead and the teaser for Thursday, but
We would have had 3 more people hear it. Dang.
that's right. That's right. But Fantasy Football Trivia Night, we're going to have fun. Hopefully have some guests on. If not, me and Travis are going to be, I don't know, we'll keep some score, have something going on.
Who knows more?
Yeah. Who knows more about fantasy football? I'm going to make my questions difficult, Travis.
All of mine will be about Tua.
Yeah,
And they'll all be about you thinking that he's better than
my
the number
favorite
7.
segment, is it something Russell Wilson has done, or is someone else bad? Oh,
Fair enough.
I'm Dustin. That's Travis. We are Losing Sucks. Make sure you follow us over on Twitter at Losing Sucks and check us out online at LosingSucksFantasy.com. Until Thursday and forevermore, losing sucks. Don't do it.